life finder keeps Maev up. It was going to be a close thing.
And healing, what? Get out of, no! No!
Triple stun again. Big flanks coming out from the Blaze.
It's a death metal though.
Death metal into the double, triple kill.
Welcome everybody back to the the stream. We're going to be doing another replay cast of LuBu versus Nexus Cats. We'll be getting right into that. Overview is as such. Again, not sure who win or lost coin toss, but it is Nexus Cats that take map pick on Cursed Hollow. Bans from LuBu was Alterac Pass and Volskaya. From Nexus Cats was Battlefield of Eternity and Eternal Shrine. Without further ado, we're going to get into the game. So, on the blue side, we have LuBu, Streakwing on the Lucio, Bandit on the Kel'Thas, VDZ on the Maev, Alan Hicks playing Dahaka, and Makrota on the Johanna. On the red side, we have Nexus Cats, Shadowguard on the Thrall, Lulu on the Tyrande, Arthanau playing Orphea, Mark Zombie playing Garrosh, and Turd Herder on the...
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Take a look at level 1 talents. And they are as such.
Nice stab. Evan, help him get shirt next pair, please. That's what he was asking.
So, not a lot of happening here, although they do look for the pull in, and they do actually pull him into the Flame Strike, which is a really good play. But there wasn't really anything else that could happen there. So Shadowguard stays alive, being aware. We get another 4-man rotation. Really trying to utilize that Lucio to give the rotations as much as possible. VDZ getting thrown in, almost stunned to connect, but he does manage to dodge it. Maybe mid lane being pressured out. Alan Hicks pressuring Chen in the top lane.
I gotta go. Bye.
So rotations are still remaining, but we're going to see Kel'Thas split off to go do camp. We're going to see a similar thing here by the Nexus Cats with Arthanau and Lulu onto the Giants. Camp pressure and rotations coming in from LuBu, getting pressure all across the map. The question is it too early? As the objective is just coming up now, 30 seconds in. But with the Hawk up here, it is going to make this a hard clear. Turned her to realizing he didn't have any of his stuff, so he's going to have to use it. But now the pressure coming in, Dahaka doing lots of damage there, and Chen looking to be in a pretty rough spot in the mid lane. To see them clear out the bruisers effectively. Not a lot's going to happen here, and so the rotation's still going to come through. And a great tongue from Alan Hicks is going to put too much pressure on Turd Herder. The stagger is going to come out Try to keep them alive, and it looks like it's going to manage to do so. They do get the shrine, or the tribute. Red Herder popping out into the lane to try to get pressure onto these giants. It just can't get anything done. Now the bee's going to come out, but the tongue might land. Has to force him back underneath the fort even further. Hana pushing up in the mid lane. Thrall still trying to defend in the bot, but as you can see, Thrall is super low. Is unable to muster up an effective defense. Odd build coming out from Maya. Well, the pressure being applied pretty hard onto Nexus Cats. All of the Kael'thas bombs getting spread, taking lots of damage there. Turd Herder now is the one in trouble. Great slow coming out from the trait usage of Streakwing. That's one of the few times I've seen where like the Lucio play off of the new trait actually gets value. It was a huge slow and actually really set up that team for the rest of the follow-up. Getting the 5-man team wipe on Nexus Cats. LuBu is pulling far ahead. They're gonna take themselves a free fort here as the spoils of war after their huge team fight win over the second tribute. Third tribute going to be up here very shortly. 6 kills to 0. Things are looking great for LuBu here.
Gather tribute. Earn my favor.
We're going to see a major rotation come in from Makrota and the rest right onto this next tribute. The Haka isn't even going to wait. He's just going to come right in here and see if they can snipe this quickly. Almost having 10s, they're going to do so, but we're going to see Shadow Guard pop up there and hit him with a nice root. But Streakwing isn't going to allow that to happen again. Bandit actually pulls off of the tribute to see if he can apply pressure onto Thrall. And that's going to be a tribute. Right on the cusp of hitting 10s too as well. I would have liked to see Nexus Cats maybe try to put a little bit more pressure in there once they saw that Dahaka wasn't split. But instead, we're looking for their own level 10s, and that's going to cost them. 2 more kills coming through. A huge sound barrier going to keep Lucio alive. And that's going to be another 4-man wipe. Chen the only thing surviving, and that's just because he was already a split. Bottom fort's gonna go. Mid fort's gonna start taking pressure from the minions, and LuBu's just gonna go right for the keep wall. They want to pressure up their boss lane, as that boss is the easiest boss to take, and if they can get a keep down or a significant amount of damage onto it, they can grab that boss at the end of this curse and put the pressure in. A double tether is going to convert into 2 kills, it looks like, both on Shadow Guard and onto Artha now. And now it's pretty certain that this keep is a foregone conclusion. We see Makrota pushing up to see if he can pressure out, and Marker Zombie is going to throw him further in, but that keep is definitely gone. And top keep isn't looking much better. In fact, it's going to take a while for this to get cleared out. The only saving grace is going to be Lulu coming up here to actually help clear up the way, but what they really need to do is kill this catapult, as that's what's doing the major pressure. That's going to be a camp, and I mean, I think it should be an easy 1-2 play here for LuBu, and that's exactly what the call is going to be. They're going to go right for the boss. See, a lot of pressure applied there. Is going to get the kill onto Haka, though. Good rotation from Nexus Cats. They actually turn that fight around hard. So a boss throw, quite legit in this situation. Great play by Nexus Cats. Finding those kills, that's going to give them boss. Are they going to push up with it? It is short death timer, so I think they're just going to pull away and make the rotation up to their own boss. So Dahak is going to be able to come down here and start clearing this. Boss is going to get front wall. Going to stall it this way, but with the catapult shooting at it, I don't know if it's even going to get 2 towers, which is unfortunate. So we're going to see the second boss being picked up here. Ken's already split dealing with it. It'll probably get the tower, but that's about as much as we can expect this boss to actually accomplish. Gonna move on to the fort, but again with that catapult and the 3 men now on it, despite not having any damage dealers. In the meantime, Kel'Thas and Maiev were working on this mid camp. Going to see the rotation come out from Nexus Cats. They're going to pressure this top one though. But we do have double catapult in the bottom lane, and that's going to have to be dealt with sometime soon here. Ken probably going to have to make that rotation down. Tribute's available, but I think getting as much pressure out of this boss is more important. But the siege damage isn't great on the side of Nexus Cats. That is part of the problem with their composition, is it doesn't really siege down structures well. Brawl does decent siege damage, but he has to be in melee range for it to happen. Orphea really just has a couple of spells she can cast, but a good engagement is going to be popped right onto BDZ. He does get the sound barrier to keep him alive, plus the Warden's Cage coming out to stop out any type of aggression. Silence hitting several members of the Nexus Cats, and now it's Mark Zombie that's really down, and Turd Herder being pressured hard. Chen going to have to pop his Panda Pals just to survive long enough. He's going to put pressure onto BDZ, though. As the Panda Pals, as strong as they are, can really turn things around, but they got to watch out for living bombs. They do trade 1 for 1. The Nexus Cats do get out, but that mid camp with the catapult is pushing up right onto their mid keep wall. And you can argue that this is getting more done than perhaps the boss did. But objective did go to Nexus Cats. So despite losing 1 member, they did trade out with the Panda Pals. And that's going to help them kind of try to get back into this game. Bottom has to be dealt with, though, 4 catapults. And given the positioning of this tribute, I just don't think Nexus Cats can get a lot done. But they could find this overextension rotation here without the Maiev and maybe find a pick or a kill there. So we are going to see them rotate in, but Turd Herder now is the one delayed, and that could actually put things into a bad spot for Nexus Cats. We're going to see the isolation pop out onto Tehran, so she's not in any position to help anything, plus the Blessed Shield is going to secure the kill. Mark Zombie's also going to go down as Garrosh was already low to start that fight. Again, the slow rotation from Chen, plus all the pressure. He does not have Panda Pals to help him out of this, and Stagger's going to kill him. I don't know if he's going to quite get out of this. I think he's going to have barely any health, but one auto attack from Dahaka is going to secure the kill there. And the only one that survived was Shadow Guard, so another tribute going to LuBu, but they're not going to allow Shadow Guard to walk out of this. He gets killed, I think, because there's no way he's getting out of there. So he did trade out the Earthquake for that, but top keep's going to go down with this wave and a keep, and a catapult. I don't think they're going to go for end, but it's kind of an odd position because they did get another pick. This bottom lane is pushing in hard. So it could very well be a core call here, and it looks like that might be the case. LuBu looking to posture some pressure onto the core, where Nexus Cats have a very limited set of siege damage. LuBu is quite the opposite. They have good siege damage, but fantastic engagement coming out here. Lots of AoE damage. Securing the kill onto Lucio. VDZ going in for something aggressive here, but forgetting he has no healer. So it's going to be a 2-for-0 trade. So they did get some core damage here, but they lost 2 heroes to do so. And that's going to put Nexus Cats into a spot where if they can get these waves cleared out and keep this mid keep alive, which requires them to kill this catapult, they should be able to grab this objective, and I do think that, yeah, boss is going to be coming up very shortly here, and with the death timers, that should give Nexus Cats the ability to grab those bosses. Orphea needs to be pressured up here, and that's, again, the issue. They don't really have great boss clear because their siege damage is low. Again, I mean, I would say Thrall is a heck of a lot more reliable there, plus you do have Hunter's Mark, so it's not like they don't have damage. They definitely can get it done. It's just that Orphea specifically is kind of okay on camps in the AoE sense, but for single target damage, she's not great. And her single target siege is just bad. But we're gonna see LuBu come in here, and look how fast they burn this down with the 5-man rotate onto it. Garrosh is going to use Unstoppable to walk into. He does dodge the gate, but he is eating a ton of damage from that Phoenix, and I just don't think he's going to stay alive. He tries to, and he is proving me wrong here, and there's another boss throw, it looks like, from the side of LuBu. Chen does spread the bomb, though, that's going to kill Garrosh. No, yes, he does go down. And so it was a 2 for 3. They did steal the boss, though, but they can't siege with it. Not that they really could before. And this fight is still continuing out. Not sure who has the upper hand. I think with the healer alive, perhaps it is LuBu, but they can still get picked off here. So it's kind of a scary thing. This camp's finally starting to push up after clearing up the wave. The boss does take the bottom fort, so the first structure of the game for Nexus Cats is gone. But they have to clear the core. 2 catapults plus a siege giant camp plus a 3rd catapult on its way. Means they have no choice but to deal with that, and that's going to be Curse. Boss is going to actually get a bit more value now because, of course, the Curse comes out. But ranged minions are going to do enough siege damage to clear this out, even without the tower shooting at it. So a bit of an unfortunate situation for Nexus Cats, but they are going to be able to rotate up here and grab a 2nd fort, and that's going to help relieve some of the catapult pressure in the top lane as well. So top and bottom lane starting to normalize a bit, but I still feel like this is a curse where you want to be trying to end the game, and that's just kind of the position that Nexus Cats hasn't been able to get themselves into despite finding good fights at certain times. They haven't been able to really pressure. They're going to try to put some here, but they only have 25 seconds left on this curse, and a full defense is available from LuBu. So all heroics are up. We're probably going to see a fight here, and this is kind of what I'm talking about. The siege damage here is just terrible. It's just nothing getting done here. Unless you have a boss or a camp, this team just does not siege well. 20 is on the horizon for LuBu. And despite taking a curse, isn't really going to be pressured that hard. What's good for Nexus Cats is they bought some time to try to normalize out this game and grind it out to a longer game. But 20 talent here is available, boss is available, so the question is, do you allow boss to come through without 20s? Or do you try to defend it at your core with 20s? It looks like they're looking to posture up. LuBu not going for the boss. Giving Nexus Cats more time, but because of the way the curse works, there is no wave, but the aggression coming in from BDZ does pull them into Warden's Cage. So much AoE damage coming out is going to get the kill onto Shadow Guard, but the Chen ult coming out to pressure out Makrota. He actually has to pop his indestructible, but stays alive. Chen peeling himself just barely, only 1 Panda Pal left. That kill on Thrall, though, and the one now on Arthanau is probably going to put the nail in the coffin of the game here. I think there's really not much else you've got left going for the Nexus Cats. Even if they don't just end the game here with those 2 kills, it's going to give them boss control. That should pressure up the lane. They just fast clear this, kill the boss, push into core. And with 40 seconds on the death timer in Arthanau, I don't think there's a whole lot that Nexus Cats has left in the tank to stop this from happening. So they definitely had some moments to get back into the game. The team fights in certain situations definitely went their way, but the The macro just was not handled well, and couldn't really deal with what LuBu is bringing. LuBu really needs to push with this boss and end the game. This is not a, oh, we just get the boss and then go get the other boss situation. It's a minute out on that one. The longer you wait, the better the chance. In fact, the fact that this was already too slow, in my opinion. After they got that kill on Thrall and couldn't secure more or didn't go for the game, they should immediately went for boss, which they didn't do. Which gave Orphea all the time in the world to get respawns, so they can't actually effectively put a defense up here. But it is a 20-minute boss. 3 catapults behind it. Only thing going for Nexus Cats here is talent parity. Great taunt. Might get them the kill they need, but it is, in fact, Tyrande that almost dies to the Phoenix. And I think it's just too much, too little, too late. Nexus Cats are going to go down game number 1 to LuBu on Cursed Hollow. There are your end of game statistics. Lots of damage coming out from Arthur now, but the deaths, 6 deaths, not helping. Keep the team going. Turd actually played extremely well on that Chen, matching Maev's siege and trip and 3,000 more, almost 2.5. Then Dahaka there in the experience gain, and he soaked significant amount of damage without dying too as well. Good game for him, but the rest of it just didn't quite come together. That's going to be game number 1. We'll be right back as I set up game number 2. Welcome back to game number 2 between LuBu and Nexus Cats. Again, without delay, we're going to go right into the overview. Nexus Cats, after the loss, took first pick. LuBu went map pick. They picked Dragon Shire, and that's where we're going to be headed to in game number 2. And to start out the match, we have, on the blue side, LuBu, looking for the 2-0 domination. Alan Hicks on the Dahaka, VDZ playing the Cassia, Streakwing on the Rhaegar, Bandit playing Kael'thas, and Makrota on the Nubrak. And on the red side, we have Nexus Cats looking for the Equalizer, Lulu on the Anduin, Shadowguard playing the Sonya, Turd Herder playing Rexar, Mark Zombie on the Johanna, and Arthur playing Raynor. So we are seeing an odd setup here. Double Bruiser. I like the idea. You 3-man in the bottom lane, and you have tough to gank, as I say that, Bruiser heroes in the other lanes. And I think it can work out as long as they don't feed any more deaths like that. Early game deaths like that generally don't matter. It's not a whole lot of experience that you get off of it. In fact, we can even look into what the experience split tends to be, if I can find it. But that's going to be a second kill. So, heroes 595. Like, already passive experience is already outclassing it. So as long as you can get ahead in the minions and the passive, then it's not so bad if you lose a hero there. But they did lose, get behind. But sometimes what happens when you lose a hero like that in the mid lane, if no one covers the soak, then you kind of end up with a double net loss. You lose both. Oops. You lose both the experience and the hero kill.
Capture the shrines, inherit the Dragon Knight's power, and lay waste.
And yeah, I don't see this squad here moving from this lane often. It's probably just going to stay in the bot lane for a good portion of the time. You have control over the top and bottom lane, as Rexar is very good on this map, but we're going to see Alan Hicks playing his signature Dahaka quite well and pressuring the Rexar there. Misha's going to step up. Third Herder going to do his best to micro out the two. And they're still maintaining control of this, so the problem here is there's two heroes in the mid lane, as solo, neither one of these heroes can fight a Sonya. In fact, Anubrak's going to get pressured out because there's no way he can fight a Sonya. Like, he just flat out loses that fight. There's no world in which Anubrak wins this fight. Kael'thas is also going to lose to the 3-man, and that's kind of the issue here. The pressure that they're applying is making it so that they have to make choices that they don't want to make. Cassia's going to do well into Arthur now, and actually is going to trade out the kill, but VDZ is still pretty low, and has to keep in mind that both Johanna and Anduin still do a lot of damage, but Anduin is actually now being pressured here. Root going to come out. They do finally get the conversion over with that kill, helping kind of reset things. And it's back to the old fight up here in the top lane between Alan Hicks and Turd Herder, Rexar, and Dahaka. I haven't seen the global used yet this game. Mid lane still firmly in control of Sonya. In fact, Sonya probably can clear these waves and actually rotate either bottom or top and apply some pressure to some of these players here, which is generally what you want to be happening. You want somebody that can fast clear that mid wave, give you in a bit of a rotational advantage. Misha's gonna die in the top lane, and that's gonna secure objective for LuBu. But there's no way they're gonna take it while Sonya is in the mid lane. Even if they move to Haka in there, like, while there's a lot of CC, they don't land everything perfectly. Sonya can win that 2v1. We're going to see Cassia make the rotation up, but that does mean that the pressure is going to come out into the bottom lane. Despite the amount of damage they do end up taking, Anduin does sustain them through it, and they do get the conversion onto it. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Misha is back, and Alan Hicks is out of mana. And that means it's just auto attacks on a Rexar and a Misha, and I don't think that that is a position you want to be in on Dahaka. So, since we haven't seen the global being burned here, I would like to see Dahaka just back out, press the B button, and then Z back into this. Ubrak's going to make the rotation up, but that definitely gives lane priority advantage here in both the mid lane and everywhere else. Sonya is going to do what she does best and grab that camp and get the rotation into the mid lane and not lose any experience in the process. Anubrak is going to make it there in time. Never mind, they are going to instead go for the fight here, which I think is a completely reasonable approach, but Lulu is super low, and that's going to actually get her killed. And now it's a 1-for-1 trade. Arthur now taking a lot of poke damage from the Kilthos, and there's no healers left, so mid lane gets pushed up by Anubrak. That was good rotation for him. He's going to pop back up into the top lane, and Dahaka and Anubrak are going to try to 2v1 a Rexar, who can really just hide behind his camp. Doesn't have to do much here. But Raynor does go down in the bottom lane. Without the support there, cannot sustain in the bottom lane. And this might actually be objective for LuBu, but Rhaegar gets himself caught, and that could be a problem. He does manage to sneak away. That's a 4v3 in the bottom lane. Raynor has respawned and is trying to rejoin the team. Lots of pressure being applied by Cassia. The root's going to come down actually and keep her in place. That's when you want to be applying those damage. So communication's still not quite onto it. You need to be calling those roots. And Arthur now stepped up and put damage onto Cassia. The moment that root landed, the physical armor pops off of her and she starts to die. As long as she's moving, she has this. It drops really low as soon as the root comes out. Now Mark Zombie in a terrible spot as it was a 5-man rotation, finally using that global to apply pressure to the bottom lane, but still incapable of securing the kill. So global burnt, top lane experience sacrificed, no kills, puts Nexus Cats ahead of the game here. Back to a 2-man rotation on the Rexar in the top lane, but Herd are doing a really good job of just not giving them anything. I don't think he's died once this game. And in fact, only Misha has died and only died 1 time so far. And that is great play coming out of the offlane from Turd Herder. 2 games in a row, actually, he's played fantastically. Cassia making a risky play here, hopping onto this object. I mean, if Sonya makes this rotation, instead of grabbing the mid experience, he would find himself an easy to kill VDZ. In fact, VDZ is barely staying alive here, but he is going to get it. An interesting play, but they sacrificed a lot for that. And now Hyperion is being burned with this camp push to get some siege damage done. And just Raynor alone, in comparison to last game, increases the amount of siege damage that Nexus Cats can do by a serious amount. But of course, add Sonya on top of that, and you have any more. They do get the kill onto Johanna, and Cocoon comes out onto Shadow Guard, but not entirely certain what that purpose was. And it looks like Rexar has won the top lane. Cassia now making the rotation down because Dahaka is back up and is going to try to retake this top shrine. But Raynor is back as well. Johanna. So VDZ just living in the backline. I'd like to see Sonya come in and get some pressure onto it. Most of Sonya's damage actually comes from her W. which is not basic attack. It's not a physical attack. It is a spell. And does a lot of pressure onto VDZ. Every single time this fight comes out, I would just stick Sonya right onto Cassia and punish her for attempting. That type of positioning. And they do get the Cassia does die. Sonya does find the kill in the mid lane. As she was low and feeling a little confident. And that is going to secure Nexus Cats the first objective of the game. Dragonite goes their way.
Red team has destroyed a fort.
The bottom four got cleaned up. Shadow Guard looking for that Rhaegar. Might have overextended, but doesn't look like anyone's quite posturing up to put any pressure. So first Dragonite is going to get Nexus Cats 2 full forts. Top lane was pressured pretty hard, and Turtle really needs some mana. But overall, great exchange for Nexus Cats. And now Bandit is in trouble. That Light Bomb on Sonya is probably going to secure the kill, but Cocoon's saving his life. All this pressure from BDZ going on to Arthur now, but now BDZ is in big trouble as Sonya is right on top of him. And again, it's not physical damage when he whirlwinds or when he uses his W. Sonya is a fantastic hero into Cassia. And so bottom keep wall is going to go down. Nexus Cats were able to leverage that due to the pickoff, and plus the fact that they were able to I mean, Rhaegar was in the top lane again dealing with Rexar. LuBu this whole game has been throwing two heroes up here constantly to deal with this Rexar. And the strategy has not been working, but a rotation looking like it's finally coming through. Turd Herder has pissed them off for the last time. And they do a full 5-man rotate to the top lane to try to deal with him. But his team is here. They're ready to defend. Shadowguard living on that backline, but now he's isolated. VDZ getting the kill onto Anduin. Does get traded out for. But Shadowguard is able to peel himself out, and that means that this fight could very well still go their way. Both camps here pushing in, but it looks like because of the kill of the Anduin, the sustain's not there. Turd Herder has no health. Now Macro Zombie getting caught out is going to get killed, and that's a big staggered death here over an objective. But we're going to point out that this keep's going to die due to this camp that was caught and the catapult. And LuBu's doing nothing with this advantage so far. They're still going to have a one-man advantage, but rotations can still be dealt with here. And Sonya's going to be matching that to Haka, who's going to dig down for that, or is he? I don't know. We'll see. Turtle no longer has the safety of the fort to hide behind, but is still, nonetheless, going to make this approach up onto Dahaka. Dahaka is going to back away from the Misha Bear. At least for a short period of time. Turtle needs to step up and get some damage onto this Dahaka. He's going to lose the bear, and that's probably going to forfeit that position. 4v4 in the bottom lane. We're going to see if Dahaka digs down for the fight. But again, despite that kill, that staggered death onto Mark Zombie, there still hasn't been anything significant that's happened here from it. Nexus Cats still maintain map control. Keep didn't go down, and that's a good thing. But it's so low that it was still very much a win condition. Hyperion being dropped here. Not my favorite usage of the ability. It got almost no value. Seemed more like a panic press there from Arthano. Shadowguard now getting uber stunned, but the Leap of Faith gonna keep him alive. And they did bait out Lightning Ball, which is a good talent, a decent trade. But Rexar is definitely winning in the top lane. Dahaka's going to try to do his best to steal this back. But it's going to be tough into Amisha. But Arthur now does die in the bottom lane. Can LuBu do anything with it? They're going to press up here with these three heroes. Camp was picked up. They do have shrine control, but no one in mid to pick it up. Because they still had to do a two-man rotate to the top lane to secure the shrine. Now, Anubrak is going to make the move in. Do get Light Bomb coming out, and I think this is objective going to LuBu. Uncertain, though. He does not manage to pick it up. Johanna does go down. Yeah. Dragonite does finally go in that direction. Another staggered death, too, from Nexus Cats. Cassie has been a real problem for a lot of these players. But has also been the major area where they get good counter kills. Raynor for sure has not been having the best game given how much mitigation tools they have for his damage. Dragonite gonna press up. 20s do come in for Nexus Cats, but it's gonna be quickly followed by LuBu. Hyperion's gonna come out. It's getting some decent pressure onto the Dragonite and the wave itself, but they're just gonna zone out, walk away. Those are your level 20 talent here. But this Dragonite is not getting a whole lot done. You could definitely argue that Nexus Cats are still ahead structurally, given how low that keep is. I mean, that keep was so low that if Nexus Cats had gotten this objective, this game would already be over, most likely. So the Hyperion got crazy value, forcing them to completely pull away with the Dragonite. Great drag onto Mark Zombie. I assume he still has Indestructible. He does trait out. Nubrak goes down. Indestructible is procced. Herder bouncing that thing between him and his bear. Lots of Kael'thas damage popping everywhere. But in the end, it was a Nubrak that dies. And that should give them aggressive lane priority here. Mark Zombie is low, and he's taking a ton of poke damage, but they find Cassia. Great stun from Turd Herder, and the follow-up damage is there. Gets the kill. Ace in the hole procs, of course, with the execute. Doing a great job. Actually, sorry, that's, yeah, with the execute. Secures those kills at low health targets, so. And yeah, with those 2 staggered deaths, this looks like it is Nexus Cat's game to lose. They might as well just start the siege onto the core right now. There goes the Hyperion. That's pressure being applied to Arthanau and Turd Herder. The Phoenix getting lots of value there, but Arthanau still hitting on it, and that core is almost dead already with the help of Hyperion, plus all those auto attacks. Arthanau, realizing that he was about to die, he does go down, and now the retreat call comes out. Just a bit of a sloppy core call. I think it was the right call. If you wanted to make that a little bit more guaranteed with those kills, they probably could have gone for the 2 camps here in the bottom lane. And that would have definitely secured the other 40% they needed. Anduin now in a really bad spot. Lulu is going to die. That's 3 staggered deaths over the next objective spot. Really tough position now for Nexus Cats to be in. Again, I don't think the core call is bad. I think it could have been positioned better. Kel'Thas damage could have been respected a little bit better. I think given the fact that all of those factors existed, going for the double camp play after the kill was probably the right way to go. But, hey LuBu, it happens. So that's going to be another Dragon Knight going to LuBu. And now LuBu's going to have to go see if they can end the game here.
Blue team's core is under attack.
Which they very well may be able to do. And in the meantime, we're going to see the backdoor attempt. Realizing there's no defense here. Yeah, so the call is, well, let's trade it out. Who can kill the core faster? I think it's actually a hard question because, honestly, with the Dragon Knight and how quickly they killed this, I'd almost say the Dragon Knight kills it faster. But they make the rotation. This is a do-or-die play coming in from the Nexus Cats. And they are going to be the ones that managed to steal the victory away. So this defense did absolutely nothing to do anything. They might as well have raced. But probably still ends up the same way. But I still think in the end, you probably still net out a better victory. So Nexus Cats steal a victory there with the nice back door after setting it up after the first initial core call, which makes that core call really good. And again, just a monster game coming out from Turd Herder here. 4,000 more EXP, soaked a ridiculous amount of damage, took no deaths outside of the bear itself 3 times, and a fantastic amount of damage. I mean, 74,000 is more than his whole team. Whereas we saw Cassia and Kel'Thas damage dealers did fantastically. With Cassia unfortunately trading out too many deaths. Especially that one death being one of the key deaths to this all. But still way outplaying Arthanau in this situation. But the heals were there, the off lane was handled there, and the Sonya play was very good. So we saw Nexus Cats find a victory there. Well done, GG. I'll be right back while we set up game number 3. Welcome back, everybody, to game number 3 between Nexus Cats and LuBu. And we'll get into the overview right away. Nexus Cats get map pick, Towers of Doom due to LuBu wanting first pick. That's where we're going to be headed for game number 3. On the blue side, we have Streakwing on the Lucio, Allen Hex on the Artanis, VDZ on the Rainer, Bandit playing Kael'thas, and of course Makarota on the Johanna. On the red side, we have Nexus Cats, Mark Zombie on the Arthas, LuLu playing Ana, Shadowguard on the Thrall, Arthanau on the Gul'dan, and Turd Herder playing Leoric.
10 seconds.
Both compositions are decent.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Obviously some comfort here with Bandit on Kael'thas and Makrota back on the Johanna, Streakwing on the Lucio, as we saw much in game number 1. VDZ picking up the Rainer. And we've got Artanis coming out. I'm assuming Dahaka was probably banned for this map. Artanis is going to come out against Turd Herder's Leoric. Shadowguard picking back up the Thrall, despite a really strong Sonya game. Arthanau on the Gul'dan. Arthanau, like, Gul'dan Ana combination here, so we're definitely, but that is definitely stepping out too far and is going to get him killed. I'm not a particular fan of Gul'dan on this map. I think his wave clear is good and his bottom lane siege is fantastic, but the problem is that his mobility is garbage. And there are just so many ways to get flanked and pressured here on this map, and that low mobility can be a real killer. You know, you could say that Jaina doesn't have a lot of escape tools either, but she at least has the slow, which does make a big difference when it comes down to getting out of trouble. So Invade is coming over using the Lucio. Thrall's going to come down, though, but it's going to be too late. The Invade's successful. They do grab the camp. Maybe the damage is going to come out, which it does, and that's going to secure the kill. Shadowguard finally coming in, but yeah, no one stepped up onto the objective, so they didn't stall that part out, despite having the man advantage and getting that. I don't think it was a man advantage. It was a 4v4. Right. Leo is the offlane. I keep thinking Thrall was. My bad. So, Nexus Cat's walls in the bottom lane looking pretty rough. VDZ up against Shadowguard here in the mid lane. Bit of a rough lane for a Thrall, because he's just going to take free damage for the most part from a Rainer. Turd Herder doing his best to get the double soak on. He's level 4. So his clear is there. We're going to put a little bit of pressure on to VDZ, but he does pop his W and walk out. And now Arthanau again stuck on the other side of the wall. He's going to get heals. Isn't going to be enough, though. He's still kind of stuck and has to walk through Johanna. Does manage to survive. They do get the counter kill onto Kael'thas, so definitely not all bad. Arthas, though, has no health, no mana. He's going to try to bot attack block Makrota, which actually works for a short period of time there. Rotation from Shadowguard trying to push in, but again, no mana on the side of Nexus Cats is really punishing the mana. And in the meantime, Rainer is going to be in the top lane, stalling out this top capture. So they are going to be able to get bottom lane. Is the rotation going to come in time? Shadowguard does show up, but he gets attacked. That's going to cause a problem there. Turd Herder was just left up here for way too long by himself, and that's going to cost them the kill onto Leoric. But Leoric has a fast respawn timer, so they do just have to stall this out, but they're not even going to bother. They're just going to back away. And that's a good play by LuBu. Looking to pressure the top lane, realizing they have the window. And Turd Herder, unfortunately, trying to stall that out as long as he could, just gave too much free damage away to Rainer. Once he realized that he was on the stall, he should have just sat back, used this bush to disrupt the auto attacks coming out from Rainer, and then just poked his head out every once in a while to prevent the thing comes in. That gives his team the rotation time they need. They don't have to dive in too far. And yeah, they don't necessarily, and they can 5-man defend that. And if you've got a 5-man defense up here with full health, it's very difficult for them to do any. It's really hard to take that point. It's why most people fight over the mid one, because it's a lot more fair. There's lots of areas for each team to get an advantage down there. Whereas making this play works as long as you can secure it or find a kill or something like that before the rotation comes in play. The rotation comes up before your team can do so. That aggression generally doesn't tend to go in your favor due to the positioning. Great gravity lapse onto Ana, but the follow-up damage is very limited. Streakwing getting very low from the corruption. Arthur now. And now the flank coming in from Shadowguard gets a root onto Kael'thas, but is peeled away properly by Johanna with the gravity lapse to boot on 2 targets to follow that up to take too much damage to really continue. And Thrall has to run back mid lane because he needs to get A, his stacks, and B, the soak that he was missing there after Raynor got the lane cleared. So, problem here is low health on Mark Zombie. Low health, low mana Arthas means he can't do anything. And Shadowguard is just thinking he can live in this team a heck of a lot longer than he should. He just ran way too far into there and found himself getting killed. The corruption coming out, but I mean, with Thrall gone, all your major damage is no longer present. There's no more fight that can happen here. That's going to be another kill there for LuBu, and that's going to be another double ultra capture, and it's going to put them significantly ahead here in the race, 24 shots to 36.
This realm will be mine, and mine
Yeah.
alone.
So problem number 1 is Thrall does not have his Echo of Elements stacked, which means he has half, or at least he's missing a quarter of his self-sustain with his Qs, with the double Q. And then running in here without any of his support of his team members, which couldn't happen because Arthas had no health and no mana, is a situation you don't necessarily want to be in. The top lane being pressured hard. They get the swap onto Turd Herder. He does get dropped. And really the first game I feel like he's been pressured in that off lane hard. To the point where he can't deal with it. 3 deaths already for Turd Herder. Which is just a bit unfortunate. Now, given the focus from other parts of the map, with rotation finally coming in from LuBu, we did see good bottom lane pressure there coming out from Nexus Cats. But they feel like they have to back away due to the rotation, even though they had Fear available and still a bit of an advantage there. They probably could have dropped something, looked for a play rather than the retreat. Echo of Elements finally picked up 7 minutes and 31 seconds in. Probably about 4 minutes too long. Pressure coming in on with the Entomb onto VDZ, but it's Mark Zombie who's sitting at no health, and now Turd Herder going to be pressured hard by that Raynor, and very hard to escape from a Raynor with his W up. That's going to secure the kill on that, and another channel. Shadowguard now getting pressed in. Again, a bit out of position as the team was on retreat, but Ana keeps him alive. But can she keep Mark Zombie alive? The tap comes in to keep him up. So still only the 1 kill on Leoric, who is fully back now. So now things could maybe turn around a bit for Nexus Cats. But Lave's going to get pushed up, and LuBu's just going to look for the retreat and see if they can secure 13 advantage before making any major plays after this point. Hello. Can you guys go play down the hallway, please? In your room. Thank you. Hallway or the room. I don't really care. One of the two. So 13s have picked up by LuBu.
Rising heroes, do get ready.
Mark's going to spread that bomb right to Shadow Guard. It's going to take a bit of pressure from it. And so that's 35% extra damage from Sun King's Fury. And the explosion radius. I don't mind this talent build. Especially it makes it harder to dodge. Significantly so. And good play by the Rainer, using that Raider to get the pressure he needs onto Ana.
The altar is ours.
This is going to secure the kill there. With Ana down, Gul'dan didn't have much of a prayer, and he also dies. Fear did not come out. Neither did Earthquake. When the aggression is coming out, none of these abilities are really being popped. And that is kind of the unfortunate truth of why this game seems to be going the direction it has been going. With LuBu taking the reins in almost every fight. The bottom lane converted, but 13s are here, so now the initiation decides to come through after the fort's been captured, and this is a risky play. It's going to hit the wave at least, and now they do get the kills they need, but are they going to survive? That's the real problem here. They do get 2 kills for 1, but the fort's going to start shooting people. Third Herder has no health. He's going to have to walk out of here. Shadowguard trying to stay alive, but will he? No, he does go down, so it's a 2 for 2. But Makrota probably overextended, and so did Streakwing. I think Leoric can still chase this down. He's going to go hide under his fort. And he does live.
Heroes, I have opened a tunnel near our core that leads to the battleground center. Use it well.
What? I mean, I knew I could do that. I've opened my tunnel as well.
Hero slain.
And Turd Herder trying to delay this out and keep his team alive. It's going to be the end of the game there for us. The unfortunate truth of that was the positioning just wasn't in place. And and again, Turd Herder left kind of on his own to try to stall that out, and just not enough. And causes him to die, and that is the end of the game. Not the best stat line for him that time. He was really pressured in that off lane constantly by LuBu. LuBu making the adjustments they need to, as Turd Herder was keeping Nexus Cats in both games very well. And that's going to be it. Game number 3 there goes to LuBu, and they snag the victory. So, I will pop up the talent screen one more time for everybody. And then we will be on a we'll be back screen while I set up the next match. Still got a couple hours to go. I can probably get to another couple before I need to be done.